You're doing something right now that no other species on Earth can do, turning shapes on a screen into sound inside your own head. Out of 8 to 10 million species alive today, you're the only one that can ask why it exists. And the real answer isn't, we got smarter. It's stranger than that, and it almost didn't happen. Start with a number. Scientists estimate there are somewhere between 8 and 10 million species currently alive on Earth. Insects alone outnumber humans by a margin so large it barely makes sense to compare them. Bacteria outnumber everything else, combined by orders of magnitude no human brain can comfortably picture. And out of all of that, only one species developed language, mathematics, music, and the ability to wonder about its own extinction. Why? The easy answer is bigger brains. That answer is wrong, or at least dangerously incomplete. Elephants have brains roughly 3 times the size of yours. Sperm whales carry brains 5 times heavier. If raw size determined intelligence, you would not be reading this. You would be underwater or in a savanna, watching something much larger than you think about its own existence instead. So size alone cannot be the answer. Something else happened. Something specific. And according to researchers, something almost accidental. Anthropologist Richard Wrangham has spent much of his career studying a single transition point in human history. The moment your ancestors started cooking food. Cooking sounds like a small detail. It is not. Cooked food is dramatically easier to digest than raw food. That single shift freed up an enormous amount of energy that used to be spent on grinding, chewing, and digesting raw plants and meat for hours every day. Where did that freed up energy go? Increasingly, it went to the brain. Brains are absurdly expensive organs. Yours burns roughly 20% of your daily energy while making up only about 2% of your body weight. Without a serious energy surplus, evolution simply cannot afford to build a more complex brain. Cooking provided exactly that surplus. But fire and food are only half the story. Around the same period, something else was happening to the social lives of your ancestors. Groups were growing larger, and larger groups create a very particular kind of pressure that solitary animals never face. Primatologist Robin Dunbar built an entire career around a deceptively simple idea, that primate brain size correlates closely with group size. The bigger your social world, the more your brain has to track. Who is your ally? Who owes you a favor? Who lied to you last week? Who might lie to you again? This is sometimes called the social brain hypothesis, and it suggests something almost uncomfortable. Your intelligence may not have evolved primarily to solve physics problems or build tools. It may have evolved mainly to navigate other people. Think about what that means. The same mental machinery that lets you understand calculus also evolved in large part to help you guess whether your coworker secretly resents you. Is that so different from what you actually use your intelligence for most days? There's a third piece, and it might be the strangest one. Around 2.5 million years ago, your ancestors began making and using increasingly complex stone tools. Tool use alone is not unique. Crows use tools. Chimpanzees use tools. Octopuses, remarkably, use tools. What is unique is what happened next in the human lineage specifically. Tool use accelerated. Each generation didn't just copy the last, they improved on it. Archaeologist Sally McBrady has argued that this pattern, often called cumulative culture, may be the actual key to human uniqueness. Other intelligent species can teach. Other intelligent species can imitate, but almost no other species, as far as researchers can tell, reliably builds new knowledge on top of inherited knowledge across generations, again and again, compounding over time like interest in a bank account. A chimpanzee today is not meaningfully smarter than a chimpanzee from 10,000 years ago. You, on the other hand, inherited an entire civilization's worth of accumulated discovery before you could even talk. Mathematics, medicine, written language, all of it handed to you, layer after layer, by people who died long before you were born. So here's the strange part. Your intelligence might not be a single trait at all. It might be the byproduct of 3 separate accidents that happen to collide at the same time, in the same lineage, on the same continent. Cooking freed the energy. Social complexity demanded the wiring. Cumulative culture turned individual cleverness into collective momentum that no single brain, however large, could ever achieve alone. Remove any one of those 3 accidents, and you might not be reading this sentence at all. This raises an uncomfortable question. If intelligence required such a specific, almost coincidental combination of events, how likely was it to happen at all? Paleontologist and evolutionary biologist Simon Conway Morris has argued for decades that complex intelligence may be far less inevitable than people assume. Evolution does not march steadily toward bigger brains the way some popular illustrations suggest. For roughly 3.5 billion years, life on Earth existed without anything resembling human-level cognition. Then, in a narrow sliver of geological time, one lineage out of millions crossed a threshold no other lineage had crossed. You are not the result of evolution's master plan. You are the result of a series of survivable accidents that, when stacked together in exactly the right order, produced something capable of looking backward and asking how it got here. That should change how you see your own mind. The thoughts moving through your head right now, the ability to read these words and reconstruct meaning from shapes on a screen, all of it rests on a foundation that almost did not happen. Almost every other species on this planet got by perfectly well without it. Most still do. So the next time you feel ordinary, sitting at a desk, scrolling through a phone, half listening to a conversation while your mind wanders somewhere else entirely, remember what that wandering actually is. It is the rarest trick biology has produced in 3.5 billion years of trying. Out of millions of species crowding this planet, evolution did not choose you. It stumbled into you, through cooking fires and shifting social pressures and inherited knowledge passed hand to hand across thousands of generations. And somehow, against every reasonable expectation, you turned out to be the one capable of asking why.